Mhm. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I hope everyone is well. Can everyone hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear.
yes.
Okay. Now, I want to find out from everyone, especially for Sister Farhana, Sister Sabira Kanji, have you, I slightly forgot whether I've done the meaning of the verbs with you. So each verb conveys a meaning across. Have I done this with you? So it's on the screen, if you can't recollect.
I think I missed this one. Maybe it was in the morning or
So this one here itself.
like the session was in the morning, I think. So I missed the session, I think.
Sabira Kanji, can you remember this?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Yes, I remember you sending us this sheet across.
But you don't remember doing this?
No, you did do this with us. You have been going through it.
But you can't really remember it that great.
No, because I've got the sheet in front of me and I made so many notes on it. You know.
Okay, that's good. You're making notes on that. And so do you feel confident with it or not?
No, I don't feel confident with it. No.
That's fine. That's what I like to hear. That whether you're confident or not. So that's fine. So that's what I'm going to concentrate. The reason why I want to focus on a few things before we finish this book and do the final exam are some certain things which I want to conclude and go over in the book revision. So that's what I want to do. Okay, now let's start. Now, everyone can unmute their mic and come on the mic as well. So let's start out. Now, everyone remembers and recollects. Now, in the Arabic language, the minimum letters for a verb are 3. The minimum letters for a verb are 3. And we, for example, if you look on this again, so the regular verbs, as you mentioned, you recollect the past tense, fa'ala, fa'ula, and fa'ila. So all the past tense of a 3-letter verb can either be with a fatha, kasra, or a dhamma. And the present tense, yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu. The present tense has also 3 options available: fatha, kasra, and a dhamma. So you may remember I sent another a sheet, the 6 patterns. So the combination of the past and the present, there are 6 combinations available for the past and present tense together. Do you remember that, or do you want it to bring it onto the screen as well? Because this is something I know I haven't focused with you that much in comparison to the other group. So that's the reason why I want to do this with you, so that your level and their level is exactly the same. So pattern. So I just want to make this crystal clear for everyone, so everyone understands what's happening and the purpose of this. So this itself, you remember everyone remember this? Kataba, yaktubu. The present tense, that's the first pattern of a 3-letter. So all 3-letter verbs have 6 patterns. And whenever you come across a verb, you will go to the dictionary, and the dictionary will tell you which pattern this verb would be conjugated on. So kataba yaktubu, daraba yadribu. You see in both of these cases, the past tense have all fatha. Let me make it bigger so that everyone understands. And then the third one, fataha, and we have a dash and a fatha on top. That represents a fatha. Fataha yaftahu. So these three patterns at the beginning, all the past tense have a fatha, but the present tense have three options: dhamma, kasra, and a fatha. Everyone follow me so far?
Yes, sure. Yes.
Okay. And then the next two options, it's when the middle letter has a kasra. So there's two options. Any verbs whose past tense come with a kasra have two options: alima, ya'lamu, fatha. And then the other one, hasiba, yahsibu. Hasiba, yahsibu, last letter, the middle letter. So these individual letters, in English, we call them the first radical, the second radical, and the third radical. So the middle radical is having a kasra, and the present tense is having a kasra. So this is 5. And the last one, number 6, the middle letter has a dhamma, the second radical has a dhamma, and in the present tense, the second letter has a dhamma. Kabura yakburu. He became older. So these are the 6 patterns for the regular verbs. So normally in Arabic or in English language, we refer to them as regular verbs. However, now all of these verbs which you come across, this is something which I have done slightly vaguely, but not in detail. Now, all verbs in the Arabic language are divided into 2 types: transitive and intransitive. Who remembers that? In Arabic, they're called lazim and muta'addi. What does that mean?
Mutaaddi means it has others, like time based.
I like the guess, but
It was a bit not accurate, I know.
I know. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
If I said dhahaba zaydun and dharaba zaydun khalidan, dharaba zaydun khalidan. So these 2 verbs, one's a muta'addi, one's lazim. What does it mean? I've done this a few times with you. So
The one has
the
maf'ul.
maf'ul is maf'ul.
yes.
Mutaddi.
Bihegadi.
So muta'addi is a verb which requires a doer and a
File.
object.
Object.
Like a daraba zaydun khalidan. Zayd hits,
Khalid.
and
So
the other
file and maf'ul. Is it file and maf'ul?
file
No.
and maf'ul, correct. And lazim is called an intransitive verb, which does not require an object, but it completes its meaning with the doer. So when we say dhahaba zaydun, Zayd went, it completes its meaning. So that's called fi'l lazim. Now, why did I mention that? The reason why I mentioned that, in English, in Arabic language, there are 2 tenses for the past tense and the present tense. Like in English, we call it ma'loom. In Arabic, we call it ma'loom and majhul. I need to do this because it's on the chart and I want to explain this now. We have ma'loom and majhul. We did this, but I just need to go slightly to refresh everyone's memory because this is a revision session. So I will use the other sheet, which I had on the screen, to make it easier for you. I'll use the first one, this one here. So, for example,
sorry, excuse me. Can I make a bit clear? I have written the object of a word here, verb, transitive and intransitive.
Correct.
What does it mean? Which I understood. I've written.
Yep.
It's muta'addi.
Yep.
And lazim. in intransitive verb, the sentence is complete, the verb and the subject. Example, Hamid said, Jalasa Hamidun.
Correct.
Or Hamid went.
Yep.
Zahaba Hamidun. Fi'lun and fa'il.
Correct.
But if we say Fataha Hamidun, Hamid opened, this is not a complete sentence. We have to ask ourselves what and when.
Yep.
What Hamid opened, a door, a window. So here need an object.
Excellent.
An object will always mansub.
Correct.
Fataha Hamidun al-baba.
Excellent.
And Hamid opened a door. And this is transitive verb. Object is maf'ulun bihi.
Excellent. Perfect. Crystal clear. Is that clear for you?
For me, it is clear because I have written this when I was learning with you.
Yes.
And I've written in my own way, but I don't know if everybody has understood.
Yes, it's absolutely correct. It's crystal. I've understood it very well as well. So that's correct. So now the other thing now you can add as well is that in the Arabic language, you have two tenses. You have ma'lum, active, and the other word is called passive tense, active tense and the passive tense. So ma'lum and majhul. So ma'lum means when the doer of the verb is known. The doer of the verb is known. And when the doer of the verb is not known, it's called majhul.
Majhul.
So active is majhul.
Yeah, active is majhul, correct. So here he has been. Let me make it smaller, it's a bit too big. But we translated, he has been hit. So when we see he has been hit, what's the difference between when I said dharaba, he hit and he has been hit. So in a sentence, for example, you can write this down, please. Do you want me to write the Arabic for you as well? Would you like me to write the Arabic?
Yes, please.
Okay, give me 1 second. Right, now, when we say, let me just write the example.
Sorry, Sheikh, can I ask one thing? So ma'lum, you said when the object is?
When the doer, not the object.
The doer is there in the sentence.
Yeah, the doer is mentioned and is known.
Okay, and majhul when the doer is not mentioned.
Yes. So I'll give you an example now. Daraba Zaidun Khalidan. So the reason why I'm doing this, because I'll explain the reason afterwards. Daraba Zaidun Khalidan, which means Zaid hit. Zaid hit Khalid, correct. Now here, Zaid hit Khalid. So we know that the Zaid is the one who done the Zaid is the one who hits, and Khalid is the person who is the victim. I wrote it in the chat box, okay? So you've got it in the Arabic as well. Zaid hit Khalid. Now, sometimes in a conversation, you would like to not to mention the actual person who has been, who has accomplished or undertook the action itself. But you mentioned, for example, if I said Khalid has been hit. So if I say Khalid has been hit, do you now know who has done the action upon Khalid?
No.
So that is called majhul.
Okay.
So in Arabic, you will
basically the action has been done or the act has been completed but accomplished, but then the person who did that action
Is not
was
known.
hidden.
Exactly.
And in Ma'loom, that person is obvious, like known.
Yes. So look at the example now. Dhuriba Khalidun. When you say Dhuriba Khalidun, the translation is Khalid has been hit. That's called majhul. So whenever you want to make the doer of an action kept discreet, or you intentionally do not want to mention his name, then you will make it on the pattern of fi'l majhul. Dhuriba. Okay? Is that clear for everyone so far?
So Sheikh, you said Dhuriba Khalidun, Khalid has been hit. So that
Correct.
is an example of majhul.
Correct.
So what would be the example of Ma'loom?
The top one, above one.
Okay.
Daraba Zaidun Khalidan.
Correct. So here in Dhuriba Khalidun, Zaid has been omitted. And in the previous one, Dharaba Zaidun Khalidan, Zaid hit Khalid. So the person who did the action and the person who's the victim, both are known. Is that clear?
Yes.
Sister Tabira, is that clear for you as well? Sister Wajda, Kulsum, Mukarrama Walji?
Yes, Sheikh. Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir. I just joined too.
Okay, that's fine. If I'll resend everything what I've posted in the chat box again for you, so that you can see.
I have a question, Sheikh.
Yep.
So for majhul,
Yep.
for the verbs when you're doing present tense
Yep.
and past tense, you have 6 patterns. For majhul, is that the same thing? You have 6 patterns?
No, there's only one pattern. That's the reason why I'm teaching you this, because once I've taught you, I don't need to repeat it again. So if you look now on the screen, fu'ila is the pattern. It's one pattern for all of the verbs, for a 3-letter verb. So fu'ila is the pattern. Dhuriba, futiha, that's a pattern. And the present tense for fi'l majhul, for the passive tense, it's yuf'alu. So in the present tense, you see that the ya, yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu, the ya has a fatha, but when we do the majhul pattern in the present tense, the ya has a fatha, a dhamma, the middle letter has a fatha. These are the 2 signs of knowing it being the present passive tense. For example, in English, sometimes you would say, he would be informed. He would be informed. Or he will be, for example,
Traveling.
he will be traveling. Yes, he will be traveling. He will be helped. He will be, well, how should I give you a good one?
He'll be getting married.
He will be getting married. Yes. He will be expecting a child.
Yes.
So Sheikh, I have a question.
Yeah.
So for example, Nasara Yansiru. So for that one, fu'ila pattern would be, can you do Nasara, please?
Yeah, Nasara will become in the pattern of Nusira. So the noon should have a dhamma, the sad should have a kasra, and the ra should have a fatha. It becomes
So Yusira, and then it will be Yun Saru.
correct. Nusira and Yunsara, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. So these are the 2 patterns for that. So all verbs, 3-letter verbs, will follow fu'ila pattern and yuf'alu pattern. Right, is that clear? Because this handout is related to book 3, so that's the reason why I'm covering this now in detail, so that at least everyone understands. Now, is that clear, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
the other thing you need to understand is that in the Arabic language, what do you believe? Did the hen come first or did the egg come first?
Nothing to believe.
Pardon?
No one knows until now.
Okay, so exactly. So the Arabs, what they have done, they believe that the action happened first, then the verb happened. So they believe that the action took place first, then the verbs came into existence. So, for example, what I mean by that, they mean that the word for describing a verb, for example, you know when you say hitting or to watch, to hit, to smile, whenever that you have to, the word to in the beginning of a word, or you have to smile, hitting, smiling, all of these words, they are treated as the root word. Root word. Root word is the word from which a verb is derived from. So this here, al-masdar, that's called al-masdar. So qatlan, shuhudan, kitabatan. I'm giving you examples. So from that, the root word, these are root words, and then from this, the past tense is coming from. So these are called masdar. So all verbs have root words. That you could either use root word, or the other word we use in English is called the infinitive. The infinitive word. So infinitive is a word which indicates upon an action without containing past or present tense. So that's called the masdar. So far, is that clear?
It's difficult, but I think.
Yeah. If you
So
can
for
just
example-
repeat the example of a definition of masdar, please.
So the masdar is a word, or you could put in brackets, is a noun, which indicates upon a action or a description without consisting of the past tense or the present tense. It just Yeah.
Sorry, without
without consisting past or present tense.
So Sheikh, I have a question. So for example, we have, I'm going to just throw out jalasa. Jalasa means, right,
Yeah.
he sat, or yajlisu.
Mhm.
What is the muster for
Good
that?
question. So if you go to the dictionary, the Hands Word Dictionary, they will have the word jalasa yajlisu julus. Julus.
So julus is the muster.
Yes. So when you go to the dictionary, so sometimes what happens in Arabic as well, sometimes you use sometimes in Arabic you can use the actual the masdar, the root word, as a meaning. So you can use like the word julus, ghurfatul, for example, sitting room, living room is called ghurfatul julus. Ghurfatul julus, sitting room. So sometimes you use the words as well as nouns as well. So that's what the masdars are. And the masdars itself, for the three-letter verbs, you will need to refer to the dictionaries. And the dictionaries will tell you what pattern. There are no fixed patterns for a three-letter verb. Is that clear?
I think as we do more, it'll become
Yeah,
clearer.
of course. So that's called the masdar. And the other thing you need to understand is we also, now in the Arabic language, we also have nouns which are derived from a verb. So there are nouns which are also derived from a verb. Now, for example, everyone knows word sa'imun. What does sa'imun mean? Or qa'imun? What does sa'imun and qa'imun mean? Anyone?
Standing and hearing.
Standing and if I did seen, sa'imun means a person who's listener, and qa'imun a person who's standing. Now this is called ismul fa'il. Ismul
Fa'il.
fa'il. Ismul fa'il. Now ismul fa'il, ism as you know is a noun. Fa'il means a doer. So ismul fa'il is a noun which indicates upon a person performing a action. It is a noun which indicates upon a person performing a action. Okay, it just indicates, for example, if I said the word alimun, what does alimun mean?
A learned man.
Yeah, a person who has knowledge, alim, which is called a scholar. So that's and for these now ismul fa'il, there are six forms. There are 6 forms. 3 for masculine and 3 for feminine. So for example, the word katibun, a writer, a scribe. Katibun on the and write this down as well. And the pattern for this noun ismul fa'il is on the scale of fa'ilun. Can you see this word fa'ilun? This is the actual pattern. So the verb dharaba, write dharaba, I'll write this down. I'll write in the chat box. So dharaba will become exactly dharibun. Akala.
Akilun.
Yeah, akala means a person who's eating.
Eating, yes.
Yeah, it will become akilun, a person who is eating. Akilun. And a person who is studying, no, a person who is seeking. Let's do that. Yeah. So the person who is studying, darasa, is to study, and the person who is studying is called
Darisun.
darisun.
So you have a tanween at the end.
Correct. Tanween at the end is a sign of a noun. So darisun, darasa, darisun. And as everyone know the dual, does everyone know how to make the dual nouns? You add a alif and a noon, correct or not?
Correct. Anu.
So if I said dharibun, how would you make it 2 person have hit? Or 2 people are hit?
Daribani.
Dharibani.
Daribani.
And if it's 2 people who are writers, katibun becomes
Katibani.
Katibani.
katibani. And if it's 2 people who are madhlum,
Mazluman.
Mazlumani.
exactly. And if it's 2 people who are oppressors, zalimun becomes
Zalimani.
exactly. Is that clear?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and the plural is sound masculine plural. So the plural for these nouns is sound masculine plural. You add waw and noon to the singular verb. So to make the plural of ismul fa'il, in English, ismul fa'il is called the active participle noun. That's the term in English used. Active participle noun. So the plural will be what, Sister Zaburisa?
Yes.
What would be the plural of dharibun? If it's sound masculine plural. As you know, sound masculine plural have waw noon at the end.
Dharibuna.
Correct. And if I said for the word aminatun. Aminun. So let me change it. Let me change it to something easier. Jalisun.
Jalisatani.
Jalisatani is a dual, correct? And if it was Jalisun,
Jalisani
Suna.
Jalisun. No, Jalisun plural is
masculine.
yeah,
Wawun is
Jalisun.
masculine. And alif and ta
Yep.
is for feminine.
Correct. Yeah. So if it's Jalisun are the plural, and how will be the singular feminine then? Singular feminine.
Jalisatin.
Jalisatun.
Jalisatun.
So the singular is Jalisatun, and the plural of Jalisatun is what? Alif and a flat ta. What will that be?
Jalisatani.
No,
Tani.
Jalisatun.
Jalisat.
Jalisatun.
Yeah, let me just write that down in the group. So yes,
Sheikh,
sister.
can I just summarize it? So sound masculine plural, we add waw noon at the end.
Correct.
But this is okay, sound masculine plural. Sound feminine plural, we add
Alif
noon,
and flat ta.
Atun.
alif and flat ta at the end.
Yes.
So sound masculine singular,
Sound masculine singular is on the pattern of fa'ilun.
okay, singular. It's a pattern of fa'ilun,
Yes.
okay. And okay, and sound masculine, sound feminine singular is the pattern of
Fa'ilatun.
Fa'ilatun.
Singular sound feminine sound. Sorry, singular feminine
Mhm.
of ismul fa'il is on the pattern of fa'ilatun, adding a ta marbuta.
I didn't time. Okay, thank
Sister Sabira, Sabira Kanji, you're a bit quiet.
Yes, I'm just absorbing all this. Well, I've had too many weeks of not doing any Arabic, so I'm a bit behind.
No, it's today's lesson, so nothing to fall behind. So just look at the screen now. Jalisatun. Go through this, please, for me. Jalisatun, Jalisatani, Jali.
Whereabouts are you? Sorry.
In the chat box. In the chat box.
Oh, in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, so it's Jalisatun, Jalisatani, and Jalisatun.
Excellent. So Jalisatun is one female sitting. Jalisatani is
Two females.
Lots of females sitting.
and Jalisatun.
Is it it's one of those sound masculine plurals?
Feminine, sound feminine plural.
That's a feminine. The alif and the flat ta is feminine.
Exactly.
The previous one was the masculine.
Yes. So Jalisun, Jalisani, Jalisuna is the sound. So the Jalisuna is the sound masculine plural. Correct. If I give you, I'm going to give you one verb. I'm going to give you the verb. Should I give you?
you. Sheikh, alif noon.
Just one
When-
second. Just one second. Let me just test it for a second. If I give you the verb fatihun, fataha and fatihun means a person who's opening or conquering. So what will be the first three forms for the masculine?
Fatihun, Fatihatani, Fatihun.
No, sister. It's for sister.
Okay,
Sabi.
sorry.
Fatihun.
Carry on, I don't mind.
No. Fatihun.
Fatihun, Fatihatani, Fatihatatun.
So no. Let's do the masculine first. Fatihun without the time marbuta. Fatihun.
Fatihun, Fatihani,
Correct.
and Fatihatun.
No, waw noon. So the mass sound
Fatihatuna.
with a waw noon. So the sound masculine plural. So we're doing fatihun. Fataha, fatihun, which is the sound one person who is a conqueror or who's a person who opens. So fatihun, fatihani, and the actual plural sound masculine plural should end with waw noon.
Fatihuna.
Excellent. Fatihun, Fatihani, Fatihuna. And then one female person who is a conqueror or opening is what? On the pattern of jalisatun,
So, Fatihatun,
correct?
Fatihatani,
Correct?
and Fatihatuna.
No, alif. Now the plural, because it's feminine now,
Yeah,
so it should end with alif and flat ta.
yeah, so it's Fatihatun.
Fatihatun. Is that clear now?
Yes, it's clear. It's just when you ask me to do it, and I think, oh,
No, you did it right now. You did it right. That's really good. Brilliant. Now, Sister Farhana, can I kindly ask you to come on the mic?
Yes.
Nasirun.
Nasirun, Nasirani,
Yes,
Nasiruna,
correct.
Nasiratun,
Correct.
Nasiratani,
Correct.
Nasiratun.
Nasiratun. Excellent. Sister Butul, are you there?
Yes, Sheikh.
The verb I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you the word katibun.
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 Katibun, Katibani,
Yep.
Katibuna,
Correct.
Katibtum,
Katibatun.
Katibatun,
Then dual, two females, like jalisatani. You need to add to
Katibatani,
katibatani, and then jalisatun.
Katibatun,
Katibatun. Excellent. Sister Wajda.
Yes, sir.
Zalimun.
Zalimun, Zalimani, Zalimuna. Zalimatun, Zalimatani, Zalimatun.
Excellent. Sister Kulsum.
Yes, Sheikh.
The word is going to be the word sami'un. Sorry, alimun. Let's do alimun, it'll be easier. Alimun, a scholar.
Okay. Alimun, Alimani, Alimuna, Alimatun, Alimatani, Alimatun.
Alimatun. Sister Mukarrama Walji.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. I'm going to give you the verb. I'm going to give you the verb nasirun.
Nasirun, Nasirani, Nasiratun.
No, nasiruna, plural. Sound masculine plural.
Nasirun, Nasirani, Nasiruna, Nasiratun, Nasiratani, Nasiratun.
Nasiratun. Have I left anyone? No, I haven't. Right. Is this clear?
Maulana, before you continue,
Yep.
you know the sheets that you have given us in
Yep.
there, have we got this pattern?
I will send you the pattern. I will send you all of the actual 6 patterns in a PDF form today, inshallah, later on today.
Oh, right. Okay. Because then it's easier to follow and understand.
And the reason why I'm doing it, I want, because when some things is better that you practice from orally, because a child learns a language, he doesn't learn how to write.
It helps when somebody speaks it to you, so.
Yeah, I know. So the reason why I'm giving the practice, because what I'll do, if you understand it, and when I send you the PDF, it'll become much more clear because you will actually have the text as well, because you understand what you're reading as well.
Okay, all right.
I'll do that as well, because I'm just trying to get yourself familiar with them so that once I send the PDF, everyone's clear with it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Now, the other thing is, the other noun, which is derived from the verb, is called ismul maf'ul. So this comes in the Quran often. Like, you know the word majruh, majruhun. What does majruhun mean? Anyone know? Does anyone know the word majruhun?
I can take a guess, Sheikh.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it a person that has been injured?
Exactly. So majruhun is mean a person who has been injured. For example, the word maqtulun, you should know this. Victim, a person who has been murdered. For example, mansurun. What does mansurun mean? Anyone? Comes from the word nusrat, nasara.
It was
Helped.
the person that was helped.
One.
Yeah, helped. The person who has been helped. For example, the word madhloom, everyone knows this.
This is a victim, actually.
No, no. In English, we not victim, oppressed.
Oppressed. Oh, okay, the opposite.
Yeah, oppressed. Madhloom is called oppressed, and zalim is a
Oppressor.
Oppressor.
exactly. So do you see the difference between the meanings? Oppressor and the oppressed.
So you add the meme in front of it to make it a passive form, like the person who is something is done to.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So you add ismul maf'ul. So it's made on the pattern of maf'ulun. So maf'ulun. So this word here, which you see here, this is the actual pattern itself. Maf'ulun. So all the three-letter verbs, daraba, kataba, is put on the pattern of maf'ulun. So isman maf'ul is a noun which indicates upon whom the action has been performed on. That's ismul maf'ul. So katibun, maktubun, the thing upon whom the action done is called maktub. Maktul, the person who has been hit. Like ismul fa'il, it has 6 forms. 3 for the masculine, 3 for the feminine. Singular, dual, and plural. So all nouns in the Arabic language, they have singulars, dual, and plural. And it follows the same format. Like, so I'm going to ask Sister Batul Ali.
Yes, Sheikh.
I want you to do the 6 forms of madhlumun. Madhlumun is singular.
Mazluman in singular.
Yep, do all the 6 forms. So the first 3 are for the masculine, and the next 3 are for the feminine. Bismillah. Madhlumun and madhlumatun, adding the time marbuta, indicates one female person who is oppressed. Bismillah.
So
Madhlumun.
Mazlumun, mazlumani,
Correct.
mazlumuna,
Correct.
mazlumat,
Madhlumatun.
mazlumatun, mazlumatun, mazlumatun,
No, madhlumatani.
mazlumatani,
And add alif and a flat ta for the plural female.
mazlumati,
Madhlumatun.
mazlumatun.
Yes. Madhlumatun.
So it's a sound masculine plural, alif and ta,
Exactly.
yeah?
Yes.
And alif and noon is?
Alif and noon is for dual, for masculine. Madhlumani.
Dual masculine.
Yes. Madhlumun, madhlumani. Alif and a noon with a kasra is for the dual masculine.
Dual masculine. Okay.
Sister Farhana, are you there?
Thank you.
Yes.
Mansurun.
Sheikh, before you continue, the alif and noon is both for feminine and masculine dual.
No. So alif and noon is for the dual masculine. Ta and alif and a noon with a kasra is for the dual feminine masculine.
All right, thank you.
So madhlumatani. Continue, Sister Farhana.
Mansurun, mansurane, mansuruna, mansuratun, mansuratani, mansuratun.
Correct. So something which is known is called ma'lum. Ma'lum. So Sister Sabira, ma'lum.
Okay. Ma'lumun, ma'lumani, ma'lumuna, and then ma'lumatun, ma'lumatin,
Ma'lumatani.
ma'lumatani, and ma'lumatun.
No, add alif after the meme. Ma'luma.
Ma'lumatun.
Excellent, excellent. Ma'lumatun. Sister Sabira Kanji.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that was me.
Thank you. Yeah, very good. Sister Zebunisa.
Yes.
Now, say the word, have you heard of the word? The word is, which one should I give you? I'll give you one, majhulun, which means, as you know, majhul means unknown. Majhul.
Majhulun, majhulani, majhuluna, majhulatun, majhulatani, majhulatun.
Majhulatun. Is this clear?
Yes.
Any question on this? Anyone?
So these all words will be 4-letter words.
Yeah, they are four. Well, yes, they are 4-letter verbs. Adding the meme and the wow. Yes, yes, because this is the pattern itself.
Sheikh, does this pattern or verb have a name? Like, is it verb?
It's not a verb. It's a noun. It's called
A
ism.
noun.
Yeah, it's called
Ism.
ismul. This is called ismul maf'ul.
Ismul maf'ul. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So ismul maf'ul. Ismul maf'ul in English is called a passive participle noun. Passive participle noun. That's the name given to it in English. And finally, and that will be the last one. Now, in the Arabic language, we also have nouns which are derived from a verb that indicate upon time and place. We don't have that in English, but in Arabic we do. For example, when we say yes, yeah, that's called adverb. So ism makan, that's an adverb. So adverbs are nouns which indicate time and place. For example, we use this. What does maqtal mean? You heard of this word maqtal?
Yeah, where the murder, where the like maqtal.
Battlefield. Maqtal.
Yeah, yeah, maqtal. Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, maqtal, or for example, the other one is the word you see often you see this word madkhal. Madkhal. So entrance. So on fire exit doors in Arabic, they write madkhal. Sometimes they write madkhal. Madkhal means place of entrance, meaning exit, or entrance itself, or makhraj.
Exit, place of exit.
Exactly. Madkhal, makhraj.
Place of entrance, yeah, and exit.
Okay. Now, this indicates upon place and time. So, ismul makan was zaman. This is called an adverb noun, and it has 2 patterns. It has
2 patterns.
2 patterns. Okay. It has 2 patterns. So, maf'ilun and maf'alun.
Okay, so which one is relating to makan and which one is relating to zaman?
You will, from the meaning, you will know that which one indicates upon place and which indicates upon time.
Maf'alun. Okay.
So the word itself will tell you whether this indicates upon time, but all of these nouns will indicate upon time and place. And from the context, Sister Batul, you will know whether the person is asking you about the time or whether he's asking you about the place where this action took place.
So it's either one of them.
Yeah.
Or it can be both in the same sentence.
Exactly.
Okay. So it depends on the sentence that will tell us.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
Now, the next thing I need to tell you is that write this down, all verbs whose present tense are on the pattern of yaf'alu.
On the pattern of.
Yeah, on the pattern of yaf'alu and yaf'ulu yaf'alu, and yaf'ulu.
Yaf'alu and yaf'ulu.
Yep. What did you write so far? All
verbs whose present tense are on the pattern of yaf'alu and
and
yaf'ulu.
yaf'ulu. Their ismul makan was zaman, noun. Will be formed on the pattern of
Will be formed on the pattern of
maf'alun. Write this example.
maf'alun.
Yes, I'll give you an example. First example.
Maf'alun.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll give you an example now. So dakhala yadkhulu. Yadkhulu has a dhamma in the present tense. Yes, yadkhulu.
Yeah.
So you remove the ya, add the meme,
Mhm.
add the meme. The kha has a dhamma, change that to a fatha.
Yeah.
Madkhala.
Madkhalun. Tanween at the end.
Okay.
Madkhalun.
Yes.
So then this is on the like this ismul zaman or makan.
Yes, depending upon the context, you will understand what it is. Another example, yakhruju. Now the present tense is coming with a dhamma. The ismul makan will for yakhruju will be maf'alun.
Makhrajun.
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 And that means
Makhrajun, it means a place and time for exiting. So makhraj can be exit as well. So madkhal means entrance, makhraj means a place of exit. And the other one example I'll give you. I'm going to give you an example with a fatha one, which is quite known to yourself. Qatala, so yaqtulu. So the word yaqtulu itself, the present tense comes with a dhamma. Yaqtulu. And the actual, the word which you have often heard in the Masa'ib is called maqtal.
Maqtalun.
Maqtalun. So maqtalun is a place where the battle is taking place.
Taking place. Yeah.
And I'll be ending the class in the next 2 minutes or so.
Isme zaman and isme makan is same, like zarfe zaman and zarfe makan.
Yes, same thing.
Okay. Thank you.
So yaqtulu to maqtalun, because as I said to you, all nouns, all verbs on the pattern of yaf'ulu and yaf'alu, there ism zaman and makan is made on the pattern of maf'alun.
So Sheikh, here was written is maf'ilun and maf'alun.
I'm going to give you an example. Don't worry yet. You're running the gun. Follow me.
No, so like what you said, it's like yaf'ulu and yaf'alu.
Yes.
It's a bit different, no?
Yes, that's right. One comes with a dhamma, one comes with a fatha.
Fatha, okay.
And that's that. And then I'll give you an example of fataha yaftahu. So yaftahu ta is coming with a fatha here now.
Muftehun. Muftehun.
No,
Maftahun.
thank you. Maftahun, Sister Wajda. Correct.
But what is you said there are two types, maf'ilun and maf'alun. So we could use both way.
No, no.
Okay.
I'll tell you now. So in the Quran, when you read this, these nouns come in the Quran. That's the reason why I'm going through them now. So I wrote it for yaftahu, maftahun. And I'll give you an example. What should I give you?
Is marqad also the same thing?
Markad, yeah, markad,
the place of
resting. जो मरकद हम use this word for मरकद गहा in Farsi में इस्तेमाल करते हैं मरकद गहा it means the actual grave of someone where someone's buried. Markad rakada means to sleep or lie down, and markad means the place of lying down. Farhana?
yes, yeah.
Rakada.
Is it with qaf or kaf?
It's ra, qaf, dal.
Okay, marqad.
Yeah, it's rakada, yarqudu. That is the actual verb. It comes with a dhamma in the present tense, and it's ismul fa'il makan comes on the past of maf'alun, markadun.
Markad. Like on Urban, when we go for a walk, on every it's written there. It's a markad.
Yeah, markad, place of
place to rest.
Yeah. So the place of sitting down itself. Okay. Now, is that clear so far? So any verbs on the pattern of yaf'ulu, yaf'alu comes on the pattern of maf'alun. And next one, number 2, and this is the last one. Any verb on the pattern of yaf'ilu, any verb on the pattern of yaf'ilu, ismul makan wa zaman will come on the pattern of maf'ilun. Maf'ilun, now with a kasra, because the present tense is coming with a kasra. Ismul makan wa zaman will also come with a kasra. You'll be surprised of this word when I'll tell you this now.
Is it mafridun?
Maf'ilun. So I'll give you the word jalasa yajlisu.
Oh,
Majlisun. Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
So that's how the word majlis derives from. Sister Sabira and Sister Zabunisa, is that clear?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, majlisun.
Yes, majlisun. Majlisun.
So I'm not going to tell you the forms of this dual and the plural are slightly different. I'll do that with you probably next time. Now, the other thing I want to give you is now the word the desk. Kataba yaktubu. You know desk? What is the word for desk now? You know this word.
Maktabu.
Exactly.
Mm.
So you see maktabun, the place where you write. That's called maktab. Now, exactly another one, kitchen.
Matbakhi.
So tabakha yatbukhu. Ba comes with a dhamma in the present tense. Yatbukhu. You change the ba to a fatha and becomes
Matbakhun.
Exactly. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Arabic is very systematic. I'll give you another one. Sajada yasjudu.
Masjidun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
So the word sajada yasjud. So sajada, the word masjid, it comes with a kasra instead of fatha, masjadun. So this is an exception with masjid.
Is it not yasjidun?
It comes fasajadu iblis. So masjid, sajaya yasjidu, masjid, correct.
Masjidu.
So this one comes masjidun. Okay. So masjid itself, for example, which is other popular. Darasa yadrusu. Darasa.
Madrisun.
Yeah. Darasa yadrusu. So madrasa.
Madrasun.
Yeah, madrasun. Place on. And but the word place, but they've added a time marbuta at the end, madrasatun. So a time marbuta has been added as well.
Ah.
Place of studying. Okay. So that's the whole lesson today. I'm not going to do anything more. Final one, and I'm going to end on this one. So the word raja'a yarji'u. Raja'a yarji'u.
Marji'un.
Exactly.
Marja'u.
So
Marji'u.
yeah, marji'un. So the place of returning. So what do we call
Ruju'.
our marja' taqlid?
Yeah.
Marji'un.
Marji'un. We ruju to them.
Yeah, we ruju to them, refer back to them. Right. I think this will be enough.
It is marja'un.
Raja'a yarji'u, marji'un.
Marji'un.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheikh. This made it very, very interesting.
Yeah. It's quite interesting.
Alhamdulillah.
Today's lesson was very interesting.
And words are quite common. We like,
Yeah.
it's really nice how they are series, like one after the other.
Yeah, so that's and then inshallah I'll send you a handout where I'll explain Ismul Zaman, Ismul Makan, and Ismul Ala. Then I'll complete that, and then I'll move on next lesson on the actual 4-letter verbs, 5-letter verbs, and their meanings, because that's quite important. Because if you start knowing these, when you read the Quran, you'll be able to have a better, more of a in-depth understanding of these verbs as well.
And sir, even this said infinitive, that will also add that into handout, please.
Okay, that's fine. I'll send that across. Transitive as well.
Send us to this lesson so we can write down all this in dictation you gave us. I have not written it properly.
No, that's fine. I'll send you the handout, and then I'll hand out the actual translation, and the definition will be there for you as well.
And Sheikh, share the video, because I'll have to listen to it several times, because I certainly wasn't able to write today. So
Yeah, no, that's right. I'll send you the handout, and then the handout there'll be the definitions as well. So nothing to worry about. As long as you understood the actual handout will be easier to understand. Right, okay.
Thank you.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.